Vodafone presents the pre-match.
It's time for our Vodafone pre-match for compLexity taking on Rogue. Now, Rogue, they get MSL as the new in-game leader. compLexity, they've been this tried and tested lineup now. They started to show us a good showing at the major in general. But Pimp, this is where it gets exciting.
Yeah.
Not only do these matches matter for just the teams in general, Renegades are going to be keeping a close eye on it, because Renegades, if compLexity don't win a single map, don't get any points, Renegades are guaranteed to qualify and they will make it over to the grand finals. They're in a good spot regardless, but to know this early on will be quite nice. While on the other hand, compLexity need as many points as they can get, because they haven't played out as many matches as some of the other teams, but they're still sat in a position where they can make it to 5th or 6th position potentially. So this is where it's going to get real down to the wire, where compLexity can't afford any mistakes, and we've seen them already falter a few matches we'd expected them to win.
Yeah, I mean, they should be super motivated after seeing Cloud9 losing both of their maps to Envious, because that is one of the teams they're directly competing with right now about that last spot. So super motivated. Whereas for Rogue as well, just to touch upon them a little bit, if they want to have any chance of qualifying for the finals, which is still like very slim, they need to win out both, and they need to win out the rest of the games basically and hope for a few results. So again, they have their ass in the shadow and in the water as well. So a lot to play for here, and I think the matchup itself, it should be close and it should be interesting. Exactly, you named it yourself. MSL coming into this Rogue lineup, a new version of Rogue is going to be seen here, and whatever that's going to show in this game already now, doubtable, but we're going to see some tendencies from Rogue already now.
Well, what's been nice, right, we've seen already MSL take a bit of a entry into this roster. It's not like he's coming in completely empty with it. They've played 5 matches under his leadership so far. Obviously, there's only so much you can do in a short amount of time, but these are some experienced players on Rogue who are used to playing with each other. Now, for me, the biggest thing was they lost to the South African team of Bravado, and that stopped them. This was in the semis of the DreamHack qualifier, so they won't be making their way over to DreamHack Winter, not throughout the qualifier at least. So for me, it's like, okay, you've got a new in-game leader. You tried out with Crystal for a while. You clearly weren't happy. MSL, at least in achievements, you would certainly say he's up on a different kind of level to what Crystal was. But what do you think he can really do within just such a short amount of time? Do you think this is now just, let's use this as some practice and then wait out for the new seasons and other events to come into play?
I think for now it's all about damage control. I think for them, focus in regards to Pro League should be just to stay here and make sure they don't get relegated, basically. For MSL, he's the type of guy who wants to run his team very strict. He wants to have a certain way of playing the game, and for him to succeed with this lineup, he needs time, and he needs the right players around him. I'm not sure whatever these 5 guys are the Rogue we're going to see for the next season. I think MSL comes into this team now, and as you said, he's a very prolific player. He's by far the biggest name on the team now, and he's now an in-game leader. So Rogue really got a star signing here, and if they need to change 1 or 2 players for him to feel comfortable within this lineup and feel that he has a chance of actually building something around this Rogue lineup, then that will be the way to go for Rogue. So I'm not sure whatever this lineup is the Rogue lineup we're going to see for next season, but I'm 100% sure that Rogue have had a really good signing in MSL. Whereas if you look for MSL personally wise, I would suggest him, and I would have expected him to play for a better team. I could even see him go to FaZe. I could even see him go to some other like big international team and do well. I think MSL is by far one of the best in-game leaders in the world, and to see him playing Rogue, who's currently playing to not get relegated, who's losing to a team like Bravado, that's a big step down right now.
Well, I'm choking on my words there before I even started talking.
So was MSL, you know. So it's one of those scenarios where you line up, James.
Only you can drop that. I'm not going to throw him under the bus like that, but it is certainly something we've seen from MSL. But what we're going to do is take a little bit of a deeper look at a player on Rogue goes by the name of Hiko. He's had an up and down career, and let's see how things started off for him.
Spencer Hiko Martin is a well-known figure in the North American CSGO scene. An adept rifler with a penchant for highlight-worthy moments, often sending casters into euphoria.
That bomb plant's already been happening for quite a while here, so Hiko and Sean, that's a good kill from Hiko, but they realize Dupree's still in there somewhere. They're gonna try and go for it here. They wanna go all in. Hiko comes in with another kill, and back to a 2-on-2. That bomb's so far ticked, they gotta move quick right now. They're going for it. The defuse is already happening. Hiko, are you kidding me? He's gonna go for it. They win the round. Hiko picks up a triple and Cloud9 win it. What?
Hiko started off his CSGO career with Area 51 Gaming in 2012, and since then, he's played for a number of teams across the North American continent, including compLexity, Cloud9, Team Liquid, and most recently, Rogue. Despite having only a handful of top finishes at big tournaments, Hiko has often been considered one of the best NA players during his peak years in 2013 to 2015.
Geralt is going to be waiting. Hiko charges in, doesn't check it. What? Oh my god! In human reactions.
However, the 28-year-old rifler has seen a dip in form since then. After spending a year and a half with Team Liquid, he took a step down to focus on streaming and himself. 5 months later, Hiko found himself back in a top team as he joined Rogue in the summer of 2017, and it seems Hiko is ready to manifest himself as one of the top NA players once again.
Well, we just take a little closer look at Hiko, and actually he's jumped off the server. He's got some issues, so it gives us a little bit more time as we bring Hugo and Harry back into this. Now, Hiko's career in general, right? He kind of peaked, went the streaming route, dropped back off, tried to be a bit of a player again, but he's not kind of lived up to the expectations since then. On this Rogue roster, he's obviously been a key part of it for the longest time now. But still, they don't hit the results, and I don't think he'll be very happy with the results yet. You're a player who's also played with him, Pimp. So where do you reckon he currently sits on this Rogue roster? Because you said about MSL potentially making changes.
Yeah, I think he's one of the guys who should be a little bit afraid of his position. If he really wants to be a professional player still, and if he really wants to be a great player and achieve great things within Counter-Strike, I think he needs to step up his game, and I think he needs to invest more time into the game. The problem I always have with Spencer is that he's not a bad player by any means, and he's a smart player. Definitely a great guy to play with, a great teammate, but he's maybe not the most motivated player. He's not the guy putting in the most hours. He went the streaming route, you know, that also is sometimes a sign of, you know, you're getting a little burned out, you're getting tired of all the practice environment, you want to chill more and just have fun with the game, and that's kind of like the mindset he has. So MSL and knowing MSL, he will not, you know, accept that. So Hiko has to step up to a new level once again, and that can either be a good thing or a bad thing. You saw it with Sipnix and Astralis. He got a little bit of a warning. All of a sudden, he's the best support player in the world. So maybe that can happen to Hiko. I doubt it, but that's like sort of the reaction we need to see from him.
Hugo and Harry, he's already thrown some shots at the UK, and I let it slide because he wasn't wrong.
I'm surrounded by
You are literally stuck in Denmark, surrounded by 3 Brits. And we're going to talk about another Brit in the form of Def on the complexity side. This man, he has beat the odds. He's hung in there. He's scrapped it out, and he's on a complexity that, okay, we've seen better signs of. In Pro League, though, it's not been the prettiest route.
Well, hey, he's a player that even turned down supposedly a slot in Cloud9 for this team. And frankly, as weird as it sounds, I don't even think that was a bad call to make. Right?
He made the right decision looking at where
that roster in
Cloud9 are.
complete disarray right now. So it's nice to see him on this team. It's nice to see complexity actually have some success in the major. I didn't want to completely count them out post-major run. They did get some hard games to actually get there, but at the end of the day, did we all really expect them to keep up the same level of performance in the online league? No, let's be honest. This isn't a huge surprise.
I thought they would keep doing great, Hugo, I'll be honest with you, man.
Always the optimist.
I'm a big UK fan.
I was like, yep, I can believe the whole way.
I mean, but that's the issue with the UK. You know, you always try and believe, you always try and build up some hope, and then you just get your hopes dashed. James, you and I know this.
Big disappointment.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Brexit means Brexit.
Brexit is certainly what I'm going to do right now and leave you guys to do it. As I won't be coming back anytime soon. I would come with you, Hugo. You know, it'd be a lot of fun. We could have some more enjoyment together. Keep this little British thing going.
When you come back, you better be doing the Dancing Queen, James. That's all I'm saying.
Yes,
Go full
I'm ready.
Theresa May. You know, just make yourself completely hated human. It's okay. Oh yeah, we'll go with that.
We're going to try and stay away from the. We're going to try and stay away from the political side of things.
Probably a good idea.
Yeah. But Hugo, let's take a look at this game. Rogue versus complexity. It's going to be an exciting one. I have almost no doubt about that. And Theresa may be the best game that we see tonight.
Yes, but who will trump who? Is it going to be complexity finding this victory, or Rogue get ahead of the curve? And they really need you, Harry. This is a very important game for Rogue if they want to stay away from that relegation spot. They're currently sitting in number 10. Complexity in a nice middle ground where they're not exactly qualified for finals, but they're not really up for the chopping block right now. Rogue certainly not in the safest of positions, and so they're going to want to take every single map they can. Lots of utility into this pistol round straight away. We've got that new leader over on Rogue. That is big boy MSL, looking to come in hot with this new North American roster and see what he can find over on the other side of the pond.
Yeah. Rogue, they only deal in Danes, apparently. That's the official reasoning for it. And here's the push. Here's the push in towards this this bomb site. Stan's going to get boosted up. And, ooh, going to miss those shots. He's given a couple of opportunities there to find something. Android does lay him way down here towards CT, but with 3 guns looking his way, not going to be the easiest fight he's ever taken in his life. Oh, that might be Shazam's easiest, though.
Getting aggressive towards the spawn as well will not work out too well. We've got many frags coming through, but they're all complexity today. MSL cornered on the site. He does get one. Oh, can he find a second? No. Shazam able to clear up that final kill. 2 for him in the pistol round, and complexity take their first. Nice retake coming through. And despite Rogue with a heavy setup towards the CT spawn, and when we see CT retaking on this map, it's very common that you'll see 2 or 3 CTs come towards that spawn. So that setup from Rogue, not too bad. They get away with it, but we didn't have too heavy of a push coming in from that part of the map from complexity, mainly from the jungle, from the connector, able to overwhelm the men on the site. And just like that, Harry, 1-0. Rogue deciding to force buy, though, into this second T-side round. Your thoughts?
Yeah, why not? You know, you get the bomb now, you're trying to take them by surprise. Hugo, go for this impromptu force buy. MSL, you know, already trying to test the waters with this new Rogue squad, see, you know, what they're capable of, what the style should be. Nade's going to go raining in to Vice, do tag him up early on. The push now looking to come on through, and Android actually be a little bit late on that Molotov. They're already up and past it, and running on into the site. The frags going left and right, but ultimately all going to be in favor of this Rogue team right now. They're looking to try and get this bomb down. Def is still lurking in the shadows, in the smoke, in the confusion. Def comes through, but he's only good for one. MSL and Ricky left on up. And actually, they're going to manage to lock in that round, seemingly from nowhere. Rogue going to tie things up 1-1. Very interesting watching CS without the kill feed as well. I've just noticed that that's... I noticed it last round, but I didn't want to throw our wonderful... I think this is an observer problem.
Whoa, you calling out Prius or Sapphire?
No, I just mean, like, you know, there's a lot of bugs in the system, Hugo.
Yeah, they are.
Especially because I'm pretty sure there was just a CS update released. That's only ever going to cause more.
Interesting to see complexity play so aggressive there in the pre-plant. They ran through the market, tried to contest that bomb site before they even let Rogue get the bomb down, maybe underestimating their opponent in the previous. That's not going to be the right call to make, considering Rogue are now bouncing back with big guns. Couple of M4s, couple of AKs, Harry. Looking fine and dandy in round number 3, but complexity with that CT side force as well. Stan going to be flashed off, goes back in. Problem is here, there's 2 players on the other side, and already someone has found that opener. We'll never know who, but it is certainly Rogue taking that man advantage. Up through short, they will split. And complexity, they have a pretty heavy setup here, but how much are they really going to be able to find? That's the question.
Well, right now that feels all going to be going the way of Rogue, although we do at least still have Android here with the Deeg, and he's only good for 1. It now falls onto our resident Brit in a 1v2. The British Isles, Hugo, we're small, we're not very good at things, but he's looking to try and change that up with a big play. Is Def. And it doesn't happen anyway. He's
you really set that up for a positive clutch there, Harry. We're small and we're not very good, but here's our one player in North America. Cheers for that, Harry. Always nice.
That's also your Tinder bio, isn't it? I'm
small and not very good.
But I'll give it my best.
Yeah, you know, I aim to set the standards low, you know, always exceed them.
That's true. That's a good way. Hugo, man, that's a nice outlook to have.
Because
don't overhype anything.
And I'm the best.
Oh, dearie me. Here is Ricky, everyone's favourite Aussie, or one of them. And he's going to go ahead and find himself a quick double over here towards the top mid. The bomb has been dropped, and complexity, they're fighting for control of it. But, now. Yeah, I was going to say, a 1v3 from Shazam. It's just not happening. We're going to be moving up 3-1. That decision to go for that risky force in the second round looks to have prevailed for them early on. Now this buy going to be coming in from complexity. AWP out for Shazam. And I'm going to be honest, you know, taking a look at the standings here, when you and I were reading into this, I was hoping for more from the online season from this complexity roster. You know, they did well at the major. There was so much hype around them. But now it seems to have fallen a little bit flat, even with teams like E United sitting above them in the standings right now. But a fast play from Rogue. Actually, they go barreling on in. And actually, they've taken control of this A bomb site pretty convincingly at that. The smoke's now raining on through, but there is a big gap in that smoke. And Shazam's going to go peeking on in. My goodness, might have needed the gap to be a couple of meters bigger, though, if he's going to take pot shots in like that. Doesn't exactly work out for him. Bomb now down, and Rogue, they've got complexity on the clock. They've got them looking vulnerable. 6 going to manage another. And now it is just Ye, Shazam, and Def left on up. They've got it all to do in a 3v4. And they're just going to back away to save.
Yeah, probably the best choice to make, considering the fact that Rogue had a man up and still 2 Molotovs left in that post plant. compLexity don't want to risk it. compLexity might not be even able to hold on to these guns, because look at the move out from Rogue. They're going very, very quickly into B. From that back line is going to be sick. And a couple of players in spawn as well, but they won't get too aggressive. And yeah, it was a shame, right? compLexity, great major run, kind of fell off immediately after. Went to Star Series 0 and 3, dropping to Gambit, Renegades, Big, another team of the UK player. And that was, I mean, that was pretty crazy anyway. Remember that Big went 0-2, they win their game versus compLexity and knock them out of the major. And that was a game that compLexity actually won at the 2-0 spot to go through to the Legend spot in the major, winning versus Big. And Big not only winning that game, but then reverse sweeping and going into the playoffs against Mousesports, winning that last game. So pretty crazy stuff there, but yeah, compLexity have certainly fallen off a little bit since that major performance. We're hoping they can rise back in this round, though. 4-1 to Rogue. Great start to the T side of Mirage. MSL putting in the work.
And I mean, this is one thing that I do kind of love, you know, about MSL being in this roster. Now, I don't think it's, you know, I don't think it's a very bad thing at all. MSL has a lot of experience, you know. He's going to be a very fresh look on how Rogue should be playing this. And, you know, you look at a lot of these Rogue guys, and there's a lot of players here which were like, players that could, but never quite made like our expectations, especially for me. I'm looking more towards, you know, players like Sick. For me, he was a big one, right? Originally on that Misfits roster, that was fantastic. You're back with Sean Gares, Davidovec, Amadek, and Shazam.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I was expecting to see a little bit more from him, because there was a lot of hype around him in that team. He was certainly kind of the guy putting up numbers, a young gun from NA, looking good. Shazam as well, you know, obviously now going to be on the opposite end of the spectrum, I guess. He's over in this compLexity roster. He's been pretty quiet, in my opinion. Same sort of scenario. This Sick, there was a lot of hype around him early on. But now in a moment, yeah, he's found himself a quick double. Is going to go ahead and instantly get traded out by MSL. Sick now doing what he can. But no, everyone falls, Hugo.
Yeah, and another interesting factor about this MSL pickup is the fact that, like, look at how well Rogue did with Cadian, a player not known for his calling, but pulled into AWP and Cool and still made something of a pretty inexperienced Rogue roster across some of these players, obviously that being Vice, Sick, etc., Ricky. But now we have, you know, a pretty experienced IGL as far as IGLs go, and a player who can use that AWP. We saw his last few months in North, he was taking that gun, so yeah, this is a really good addition for Rogue, and I'm actually really looking forward to it. It's a shame it's come through so late in the season. But what can they find, Harry? 4-2 here, looking to reset compLexity off the back of that previous round. Def, nice start. Pretty important kill, and he will even find 2. That's the bomb flying forward. Molotov is there. Def tries to turn around to allow for a flashbang, but he gets peeked ahead of time by Eco. Pretty ballsy peek, and while he does get the frag for it, he's down to 10 HP, but he has retrieved that bomb, and that's the important factor. Worth its while. So Rogue still having to fight a man disadvantage and more problems on top of that. They've got no utility. They do have mid control, and will compLexity try and suffocate this, or will they give up this portion of the map? Okay, looking to move back in. This could be dangerous, but he catches the timing. Very well timed compLexity. Peak window at the same point with Stan. And okay, it trades back and forth, but it's at least a 3-on-2, and Rogue kind of clutching at straws in this situation.
Yeah, just Ricky and Hiko left on up, Hugo. They've got it all to do. And a 2v3 to try and find. You first have to get past Android, a man who is equal part machine here inside of this B-bomb site. They're going to start to walk his way. And Android, ever so patiently, lies in wait. 25 seconds. That Incendiary going to go ahead and burn that much more time off the clock for Rogue. 15 seconds, that one flash that they have. Their one Incendiary going to go on out. Android finds the first and the second as well. He's going to go ahead and drop both the players over here towards B. compLexity, a third round to their name. Might not have got off to the strongest of starts, but certainly finding their footing now in these last few rounds. It's going to be back to the drawing board here for Rogue.
Yeah, back to the drawing board, but that consists of a couple of rifles coming into this round. We've got 2 SMGs, 3 AKs, and a bit of a fast B play for Rogue. I like the recipe, but will it be a disaster for them? compLexity have 2 players on this site themselves. That's being Android and Stan. Fast play for Sick. But he gets spotted. The nade is going very, very deep, but he is ahead of that one. Sick is already in this bomb site, but he's going to get caught from the market. Not ready from that reposition. The trades are there, but this is still going to be an advantage for Rogue. Doubled down by the fact the Vice is just pushed in and taken another player. compLexity smoked out of this bomb site, and they might even have to opt to save as Rogue. Fast play towards B works out wonderfully.
Going to be a 5th round on the board for Rogue, so answering straight back, and they had a pretty weakened buy heading into this round, so it's able to work out for them there. Hugo, I'm curious, right? What are your thoughts just overall on the NA scene right now? Because it feels like it's in a bit of an odd spot, right? There's a lot of these kind of teams where they've come together recently. I'm still not entirely sold. It just feels like there's so much talent over in NA, but it's all very displaced right now. Like, you look at, like, the top teams, right? We had Cloud9, we had Team Liquid. Cloud9 have certainly dropped off, right? You look at Team Liquid as being the really, like, NA team, along with MIBR, I think, that would be, like, you know, your go-to picks for big teams out in NA. I guess, you know, you'd want to add Ghost Gaming onto that, probably.
Yeah, I rep Ghost. I think Ghost are one of the best in North America right now. I mean, they've already qualified for the Pro League finals in Odense. Yeah, up there though, Liquid obviously been fantastic. Apart from that, NRG, up and down, like high highs, low lows. They've been underwhelming at some points. They've had some great LAN wins at some point. So it's kind of hard to, you know, place that team at the moment. But top 10 team, yeah, sure. But alongside that, you know, if you're going away from Ghost, Liquid, and NRG, I don't know what team you're even looking at as the next best. Taking away from MIBR, obviously being a core of Brazilian players. I don't know who the 3rd best team is apart from those guys. 4th best team is apart from those guys. According to the standings, right? Renegades, but, you know, it's still kind of all up in the air, like you say. Either way, this season's been kind of exciting. We're going to have some new faces at LAN, which I'm always happy to see. And hopefully one of these 2 teams at least can be one of them, Rogue or compLexity. Hey, E United, even in that top 6 spot right now, we may be seeing them. That's been a team that's just made roster changes as well, bringing in a new caller. So that'll be fun. Double AWP still kept up for compLexity, and it's doing so much work. Stan, eventually will fall, but he's got at least the tag to Ricky before that. Android repositions, Vice jumps into his death, and Ricky's not here to trade as well. That makes matters even worse. That's a bad flashbang. They know where he is. There's 30 seconds left up. Do you need more negatives?
Well, what about this? It's a 1v4 for Ricky, and he's going to start to back away, looking to try and save. Or maybe, Hugo, maybe not. Maybe down here in through lower tunnels. Tactical timeout called on in. It's going to be over on this side of Rogue. They have a little bit of time to try and address these problems, Hugo. We just have a word in our ear that they have managed to fix the kill feed. Supposedly it's a weird workaround.
I'm not sure what that means.
Yeah, I'd kind of love the idea. Like, I'd love to know what.
Is Rush drawing every kill like really quickly, like manually
he's
doing
like
it?
Plugging it into the system.
Yeah.
You know,
just using like
channeling his inner observer.
Yeah, inner observer, inner and outer Harry. He's one with the observations.
No, I do feel bad for Rush having to, you know. He's doing his big production right now, but we know he loves observing, you know, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He just loves to be a spectator.
He cries every time he doesn't get to do it.
Yeah.
I hear.
That's why I'm just in tears over there in the room right now.
I'm trying to fix the kill feed. I'm sorry, this is horrible.
Here's the push in, Hugo. From Rogue, it's a fast A play. That's the order of the day. The smokes are down. This wall of smokes leaving compLexity isolated from this bomb site. The bomb is going to go down, and Rogue going to find themselves in a 5v5 post plant. A little bit of time to get into these after plant positions at that.
God tier Molly.
Silver lining for compLexity is they still have a lot of players up, but 6 able to dispatch of Ye. And that's now going to leave a lot of pressure here on a man like Def down in Connector. He started to focus his attention on this man down in middle. And Rogue, they've backed out compLexity. There should be no real way for them back into this round unless Android is able to do something magnificent, and he's not. He's going to get bested. Just Def and Shazam left up. And try as they might, Rogue going to be managing to pick up a 6th here in this round. Just a little bit slow on that retake from compLexity, as well as that, you know, the real hero, the real man of the hour was the man in mid for Rogue.
Sick.
That was it.
And that's a big thing as well. You mentioned how compLexity is slow. One of the reasons they're slow is because they're waiting for Def to come back towards Connector and actually play with them, but he's waiting for the flank, as he should be, right? But after Sick gets that kill, he doesn't commit with the flank. He just goes back to T-spawn knowing that, okay, we have the man advantage. They've already wasted a lot of time. They're not actually in the bomb site yet. I don't need to play middle. I can just play with my team and we're probably still going to be fine. On top of that, as said, Def is wasting his time watching top mid, but he doesn't know that Sick's backed off. So unfortunate for compLexity there, but really nice play from Sick to not actually commit to that. You see so many players give away their mid flank and then they commit with it and they die every time because obviously the CTs are watching for it. So yeah, if Sick went back in, Def gets that kill and maybe compLexity have time to retake, but now we're in a whole other reality where Rogue is 6-4 up here on the T side.
Yeah, and I mean, the crazy thing is Rogue, the team, you know, chomping at the heels of compLexity, the ones trying to knock them down into that relegation spot. In fact, if they 2-0 this series, they might just well do that. So, certainly not where you want to find... I just developed an accent from nowhere. I don't know what that was. Yeah, certainly not where you want to find yourself. Pushing it towards this B bomb site is going to be Ricky, and he's actually been just annihilated, but Hiko's doing what he can to keep Rogue back into this game. And yeah, I mean, you know, as I was kind of saying, this is the worrying thing, is if Rogue manage to 2-0 the series, they will be moving up above compLexity. That puts compLexity down in that relegation spot here in the Pro League. So these games are so important, and compLexity know this. They're waiting outside of this bomb site, starting to aggress on him, but Hiko shutting down one, Stan's able to trade, and now all the pressure onto Sick. This is a round that Rogue should have been winning all day long, and Sick looks to try and get them there. As he's picked up his second now, it is just Shazam, and he's tapping on that bomb. He's not just tapping on it, he's sticking in it. Sick's got absolutely no idea, but he's scoped off. He came off at just milliseconds before the defuse comes through, and Sick gonna pick him up. Rogue 7-4 is the scoreline.
He had that, Harry. He had the defuse. He'd won the round. Why did he get off? Did he assume that because when he got flashed that he was going to get peeked, or did he assume that he'd already got the defuse when he was blinded and went, oh, okay, it's fine now? I don't know, but whatever it was a massive mistake, and it's going to cost compLexity a round that they could have just gotten out of nowhere. Ouch. That one hurts. Not a happy chappy as Shazam, but he's at least got the AWP into this round, Harry. Bringing in the big guns, as is MSL. Cadian 2, as we call him now. The AWP IGL Danish player for this new team, but unfortunately, Ricky has already gone down to the AWP of CT side.
Yeah, now we see what Cadian 2 can do up here towards the top of mid. The sequel, of course. Now, they say that sequels are almost always worse. But this one looks to challenge that. Yes, ideology is not the right word.
No, we're getting... You try and take us out of political conversations. Now we're going to be going full Marxist.
Yeah, here we go. Hiko looking to try and redistribute some of these kills over here in the apartments. And he's going to. He's picked up 2 quick frags on a Stan and an Android. Standroid, as they're so often known. Shazam does go ahead and pluck Hiko out from the sky. But he's the only one nearby for compLexity right now. These rotations taking so long to come through. There's already so much time going to be burnt on down for compLexity to get back in this bomb site. And they're giving it up. They're backing away. Rogue going to be picking up an 8th round.
Bitter pill to swallow, but maybe coming off the back of the fact that we know that Rogue have just won 2 in a row, compLexity don't want to go for this and then just have to eco the next. They'd rather just fully buy up, and they're going to have, well, not really the full buy. They're going to have a bit of money to put into Stan and Android. Can see $2,400 hit their accounts after this round, so potential SMG drops, FAMAS drops here from compLexity. Stop putting Google into Google when you want to search something, Harry. Harry will open a Chrome tab, and then he'll type google.com in the search engine.
Yeah.
And then he'll go to Google, and then he'll type what he wants. That bar at the top, you're typing google.com in, that also works as Google.
I know.
You can type Android facts like you're doing right now into that top part. Oh, damn it, Harry.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
Really
I'm
angers
not
me.
against you every time.
It's just like, you know how to use a computer. Stop.
It's because on Hugo, man, the real reason is you and I, we've been traveling a lot. So on my laptop, it always, if you type in anything, doesn't matter what you search in the search bar, it takes you to Google. But not to what you type.
What if you type Bing?
No, like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you type. It'll take you to Google. So it's just broken.
This isn't your laptop.
I know, but I'm just stuck in that mode. And I need you to get me out of there, man. I'm falling down the hole.
I'm going to keep calling you out every time. Don't you worry.
Right, so look, we've tried to prepare some Android facts, but it all got derailed. Yeah. So, Hugo, how you feeling about this game anyway? Rogue sitting 8-4 up. This new look Rogue roster with MSL getting off to a good start right now.
Yeah, we're seeing some nice executes. We're seeing some good mid-round calls. Nothing too fancy here, but again, he just joined this team. He's not really had the time to gel with the roster just yet, but yeah, just everyone knowing their role right now for Rogue, and you know, the stars shining through where they got to hit their shots. So 8-4. It's refreshing to see, but this team always is interesting. MSL. Got to be very careful. Oh, he catches the timing. Shazam going to walk back into his death. And this is a wide peak from MSL. This is the biggest factor. Shazam not ready for this kind of deep angle, but he's going to get the kill. Nice shot from Shazam. Sick going to be able to trade things back up, though, and he'll exploit the fact that he's taking a player down off of B by just diving into the car. The question is, do they know? Did they see him? Because Android certainly doesn't look like he did. Stan's focused up on the house as well. Whose house? Six house. He's hiding by the van, and Stan's going to run with his back turn. Now that B rotate has got to come into question. Android's been spotted, and Six is going to just smoke off this B site, try and contain it. He gets chased down by Android. Not ready for that one. And just like that, compLexity back in control of this B bomb site, but only by one man.
Android, he's just going to keep on putting up numbers. Oh, he's in with a third. What is he doing? He's tearing Rogue apart right now, and it's all going to fall onto Vice. In a 1v3, this is a round that never should have been, but Android is just absolutely unhinged. He's going to shut down everybody that comes near that B bomb site, and he's going to do it with confidence. He's sitting 11-9, top of the board for compLexity right now. And you absolutely just love to see it. Android getting off to a good start here. I say a good start. 14 rounds in, but, you know, in the grand scheme of things. Still early days, Hugo.
Yeah, he's going to catch Vice. We have this fast mid play from the CT side, and Ye is just cheering after kill. Oh, sorry, cheering kill after kill. Okay. Getting 3 into middle as MSL dives up into that A site. Well timed, because they were focused on that connector, looking for the mid split. MSL, he's splitting their heads. Shazam going to go down as well, and now it is just that lone soldier from the previous round. Android trying to hunt down this bomb, trying to stop this escape from Hiko. And I think he's going to finally catch him in the spawn, but Hiko's at least watching his back. He's been seen. Can Android put on the shot? He's done it. Bomb down. And now smoke to cover it off. He'll reposition. Well timed, because MSL is on that flank. And Android, he's going to hit every single footstep of this as well. This is his every time. Android, fantastic back-to-back rounds from him, keeping compLexity in the CT side.
And as we approach the end of this half, Hugo, it's about as even as it gets. 8-6 up in favor of Rogue right now. Chance at 8-7 half. And, you know, as you were kind of saying, compLexity, they've been bailed out in these last few rounds, forging a very, very competent CT side on the back of it. You know, we see the likes of Ye in the round prior, Android the round before that. Individually, everyone having these moments of brilliance to keep compLexity in this, and they're looking good right now. We are split evenly down the middle. Well, almost as even as we can get. You can see tactical timeout called in right now for Rogue. A chance for their Danish leader to try and rally the troops. Danes are very good at getting us motivated. That's why we like having Pimp here so much. He's been getting me all excited to watch CS, just the mere prospect of it. And taking a look at this buy from Rogue. you know, you hope that you're good at getting your team excited, because this isn't a very good buy. MSL, he's made himself the hero of this round. He said, you know what, this is all about me. Taking the Galil, and he's going to try and see what he can do with it. It's looking like only a fast B play, although no, that bomb, it's up in the palace. I've fallen for it. Do compLexity fall for it? They're not rotating anyone away. They hear the footsteps, and oh my goodness, it's the double fake, Hugo. Back into the apartments they go.
No bigger brain than that of MSL, but can he find the shots to back it up? Android going to be looking at this B site. Spotting lots of players on the cross, lots of info gained. Will we see compLexity decide to rotate a man off? No, they're just going to commit with the solo B play. In fact, Android moves back to an even more passive position, and Rogue is still here in the apartments. They're still looking to take this B bomb site, but as you said, Harry, that bomb on Vice, it's still chilling, and Rogue going to decide to give it up, and that's very well timed considering that compLexity have just gone for a 2-2 split, moving that short player into the middle of the site temporarily. Going back for an A play. They are very, very low despite this man advantage. If anything, you would say compLexity are favourites into this round. Close position from Def, though. Is he going to be aware of this ramp split? Because how much can Ye really cover with this M4? He's got 20 seconds left for Rogue to get out onto this bomb site. The smoke's going to start to come over, and the flashbangs to follow. Def can't find that first kill, but he lines up a couple. Ye doing the damage as well. Vice spotted in his palace. If he can cut off this bomb, this could be massive. Nice rebound. It's going to land perfectly. That will slow down this push of the bomb. And Ye could win this round, but he's already been taken down by Hiko. Bomb finally working its way out of the palace. But in the meantime, we've had that wrap in through the CT spawn. Hiko can't hold his line. And just like that, Vice is going to be chased down as well. compLexity win the round. And that is all due to the molly of Death.
Yeah, man, Def is able to heat things up, holds back the push on in from compLexity long enough, from Rogue long enough rather, and that will be them picking up the round, Hugo. We go ahead, we see compLexity win those last 3 or 4 in a row, and that's just fantastic for them, because it was starting like a little one-sided at one point in time. You know, it's the moments like this where we see Rogue, for example, this was the 1v3 from Sick. He did a fantastic job of clutching this out, and it was just individual play after individual play for either side there towards the end of that first half, it felt like. But all in all, it's a team game. So we're getting ready to head through into the second half, Hugo. And I'm curious, you know, which way do you see this one going? Because right now we're split right down the middle.
I'm jumping on the Rogue train.
Well, you know what? Tell you what, if you're hopping on the Rogue train, I'll go ahead and get on the compLexity train. We can actually pick up their jerseys, shop.eslgaming.com.
That's a Liquid jersey.
That was a Liquid jersey, but it's close enough. They're one and the same.
Blue and American.
Exactly.
That's all you need. Head over to play.eslgaming.com.
Yeah, man, yeah, you've nailed this.
Or you can also head over to play.esea.net if you want to play on 128 tick servers with the likes of Rogue, with the likes of compLexity, and maybe if you're lucky or unlucky with the likes of me and Harry.
Man, that would be very unfortunate.
Yeah, you're definitely losing that game when you're against us.
On account of usually as well, you know, we're playing with a good 150 ping from a hotel room.
Yeah.
So definitely doesn't help. But you know what, Hugo? Right now, take a look at these leaderboards. It's promising stuff from the likes of Android and Shazam early on. For compLexity, that for me, have me convinced that they are going to be the ones to take this map, Hugo.
Well, that's it. They can continue this fire form into that second half. Utility on Ye. Ricky with the kit. Shazam creeping and crawling. Slipping and sliding, but there's no water parks here. It's just a triple setup from that A site on Rogue. It's going to be that connector split. This is my default go-to on a matchmaking pistol round, so big fan. Apart from the fact that Ye's walked into B to try and sell a bit of a fake with his utility, but no one's going to be buying it. No one's going to be rotating. Still this palace control for Sick. Odds favouring compLexity, and this pistol round certainly not looking good for them. Vice has taken 1. Nice trade back from Shazam. Oh, Shazam found 3. And compLexity, just like that. This is their round.
Yeah, Hiko's going to have to go absolutely unreal if he wants to pull back this 1v4. It just doesn't look good. And Hiko's just saying how Shazam's having a good game. He pops off here in the pistol round for compLexity. Hiko now left in the hot seat. And a 1v4 required. Does at least deal with the point man for compLexity. That's Shazam to get bested initially. And Hiko, time now ticking down against him. Spots the man over towards short. I don't think he's going to be ready for the wraparound through C. Oh my goodness, baby. But he loves a flick, does Hiko. 1v2, time ticking down, and no kit on his back. This round will be coming to a close. Yeah, he's even going to try and finish things off, and indeed he will. So 8-8, all tied up. compLexity now with a chance to take the lead.
Yeah, here and now.
Also, here's an interesting Android fact.
Yeah.
The founder of some robotic institute.
What's the name of it, sorry?
The Carnegie Mellon.
Carnegie Mellons.
Mellon. That's
Mellon.
Mellon.
Esque.
They predicted that robots, so, you know, androids, will emerge as their own species by 2040.
And will replace humans in every essential task. I can tell you already, that's not going to happen.
Okay.
That's replace
ballsy.
humans in every essential task.
Yeah, I believe that.
Harry, robots are not taking our job.
That's because we're not essential.
You
We're
got me
like,
there.
yeah, but don't... There's no danger of that. It's, you know, it's like anything that's actually important gets replaced, you know? Like, I can't think of any worked examples, or just anything. Pretty cool, but terrifying.
Yeah, that's going to be a weird one when we have robots' rights, right? That's going to be a weird one because you know, there's going to be those people that think robots are people.
Well, okay, no, we can't even touch on this subject, Hugo. Man.
These things don't exist
I
yet, Harry.
don't think that you're appreciating the sensitivity of these issues. Let's go ahead, Ricky and
Android
Hiko.
is a real person.
Android is a people too.
Androids are people. 35 seconds left.
Yeah, he's not looking like a person in this round. He is tagged down a 15 HP. Instead, he's more of a walking bag of flesh. I guess it's all the person really is, though. You know, what is a people? Ricky and Hiko left up. Bomb's going to go down here, Hugo. compLexity going to be picking up a 9th round. You've looked up the definition of a person. And it's in Danish. Oh, okay, it's in English.
Human individuals, sometimes used in combination, especially by those who prefer to avoid man in compounds. Oh my, okay, right, I'm getting off that site. Whew. I'm looking for a real one. A human being. There we go.
Nailed it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I could have told you that one, I think.
I don't know what you were expecting. What did you think it's going to say?
I don't know. Well, I can tell you now, not a robot. Well, we'll save our apocalyptic Skynet fantasies for another time, because right now it's 9-8 for compLexity here in this opening map of this best of two, or two separate best of ones as we like to call it. I always wonder about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't every map a best of one?
It is just two separate best of ones, but it's just a series, Hugo. Just call it a series. It's easy as that. You don't have to give it a name. You know, you just say it as it is. It's a series.
Anyway, and map number 1 of this series.
There we go. You've nailed it. You've really caught on. Yeah, Hiko's going to have the UMP. He's also got a Molotov, though, so maybe he can try and heat things up a bit with that. Can Hiko? He's over here towards the apartments, along with MSL and Sick. Still yet to spot anything out, but they're about to have their first contact with Def down here in Connector. And that's a pretty terrifying man to run into.
Also a terrifying man to run into.
Thank you very much, yes. Indeed. Def is in the back line, and he's looking to try and defy all the odds. Is Def Android going to go ahead and manage one more? Now Def chiming in with that frag on a Hiko. He was the one man who had really much to work with in this round. And everyone's going to get mopped up here. compLexity moving on to a 10th. Just Sick and Ricky left on up, and Ricky would love to hold on to his armor. And that the issue is, he's not going to get away with it. He's going to get put down.
Ooh. Sneaky, sneaky Sick. He's looking to be a bit of a bacterial infection on this B-bomb site, but no, compLexity going to be able to find him. 10-8. Flawless round.
Was that a play on the
compLexity.
fact that his name is Sick?
Yeah. Why? You think I just call him a random bacterial infection? Like, Sick. That's a joke.
Yeah, no, I know, but it's just.
Yeah.
Is that because? Oh my goodness, there's a laptop there. Is that because an MSI laptop, obviously?
Huh?
Sorry, I was just saying, Hugo.
Jesus. What is happening? 10-8 here. complexity's still running this bonus round. They've got 4 SMGs in this buy round against Rogue, who are pretty well equipped, all things considered, but lacking the head armor on Sick and MSL. So these get even more lethal. Shazam up in the connector already, or at least looking towards it. The window going to get re-smoked. This allows for far more deep mid control for complexity. They've already put a man in this ladder room, though. That is Stan. And Rogue are falling back very, very passive. We've got Ricky trying to command that connector alongside MSL with the AWP. Flash is holding back their aggression on the B-bomb site, but that's where this will end up for complexity. That B-bomb site, Hiko and Vice, both incendiaries left up on them, so this is pretty important in terms of cutting in this push. Even if you allow a couple of complexity players out, you can kind of segregate the execute and only allow maybe Def and Android instead of 3 or 4 players to get out of the apartments. That allows you to isolate duels a lot easier. But let's see if Rogue can even get these duels, or if complexity are going to be blinding them out of this server. Flashes are starting to go through. Def's already jumped on in. Vice has found the first. Hiko going to be chiming in as well. These Molotovs are doing so much damage, and Hiko's doing even more. 2 kills from him, 2 kills from Vice, and a 9th round from Rogue.
Keeping this one tight, and yeah, fantastic stuff there from Hiko over towards short. Locking it down inside of that B-bomb site. The buy comes in at the very least from complexity here. They're going to have the rifles out. They're going to have the AWP on Shazam. Smoke's raining on down in towards middle. Complexity trying to be very, very...
Very what?
Sorry, Hugo.
Bit of a coughing fit.
Being very active in taking control of mid this time around. They've made a real effort to go ahead and grab this portion of the map. Def up in the apartments, and doesn't like complexity are too bothered about what this B-bomb site has in store. Instead, setting up to split in towards this A-bomb site perhaps, and Shazam just going to miss that shot. Not the second time around though, as MSL perhaps overstays his welcome a little bit. That's the man advantage picked up for complexity. Now the question becomes, what are they going to do on the back of it? Ricky lying in wait up here in the window.
He's about to be suffocated. They're coming from both ladder room and from this connector. He's got to watch out. Sick giving away his position, but he doesn't get anything for it. Def able to take him down from the site. Ricky's been smoked off in the jungle as well, and Rogue trying to retake from the CT spawn, but they're not getting any closer. Def's lining them up, knocking them down. Another bit of a response from Ricky and Hiko, but just like that, it's flipped back into the advantage of complexity. But problem is, Harry, 15 seconds left up. Android needs to get this plant in. He's done so much damage, but that Molotov, that could win them the round. Hiko's found the kill. There's 10 seconds left up. He just needs to run away. Does not need to commit to this fight in any way, shape, or form, but it doesn't matter when you get the frag behind it. Hiko winning the round for his team, 3 from CT. And wow, what a round to lose with your complexity. You had everything going for you, and that one Molotov will be able to pick it up.
Yeah, Hiko has been fantastic for Rogue today. You know, we spoke, we overheard the desk. Pimp was saying, you know, if anyone was going to be worried for their position in this squad, it could be someone like Hiko. But he has been just stellar. Currently top of the board for this Rogue squad. Shazam's been throwing the AWP here, at least for complexity to work with. Still yet to spot anything out. He's trying to go ahead and peek through the gap in this smoke here at ramp. He's going to be allowed to take the fight to MSL, but MSL wins it. Of course he does, and now that AWP gets juggled around a little bit more. MSL's attention divided, but Ricky there to go ahead and bail him out. The push continuing in, but Sick makes quick work of these players up through ramp, and in the blink of an eye it's Stan. Left on up. Now that nade has at least blown the AWP into his grasp, but Ricky is there to go ahead and pluck him from this round. 11 to 10, Hugo ever closer between these two teams. Money does mean a buy can come in here for complexity. My question to you now, Hugo, what is a writer's favorite type of car?
You made this joke
I
yesterday.
I told you earlier. and I
forgot
came up
that.
with this on the spot. A meta 4x4.
Awful.
It's fantastic. Look
It's actually
online.
really
You won't
good,
find
yeah.
that anywhere. I came up with that.
Well, they say
Patented.
Lightning doesn't strike in the same place twice. Shazam not going to be able to win that duel versus MSL this time. I wonder if that's a myth or just a... Is that a fact, or is that just a statistical assumption?
We're
When they
crunching the numbers.
When
We're
they say
crunching
Lightning
the
doesn't
numbers.
strike twice, is that because it's so unlikely to strike anyway that the chance it strikes in the same place is also even more unlikely?
Well,
then it
listen
just comes
up,
down
mate.
to whether
You just got to think about it. Given enough time, it's inevitable. Eventually, it has to strike the same place twice.
Well, no,
Hugo,
because Lightning doesn't
it
strike every
is-
place on Earth.
It is a myth. Veteran storm chasers have observed that nature does defy it sometimes. The Lightning, as it turns out, does strike the same place twice. And I tell you what, it's going to go ahead, and it has struck up here in the top of mid. It's sick this time, throwing out the Lightning, and the fire going to be raining on the back of it. Just Shazam left up, 1v4. Hugo is going to be met not by Lightning, but by those thunderous grenades that go up into the apartments and shut him down. 12 to 10, no money. Back to the drawing board here for compLexity. Have they got anything left in the tank?
Well, not in terms of money, if that's what you want. It is being burnt. We need some more cash in here, Harry. $3,000 per player. compLexity. Wish they had more arms just to, well, hold more guns, I guess. Right now it is just pistols. Couple of flashes and a smoke to try and get them into a bomb site here. That is going to be on Android in the underpass mainly. So Ricky going for the peak in the CZ. Pretty bad right now. And Ricky pretty good right now. 2 kills from him. Vice spotted on that jump, but Def not going to be able to hit the shot despite having a pretty strong game so far for compLexity. 3-on-5 here for the T's, and Vice is going to back up for a little bit more. Def can't find it once again, but Roger doing a good job of just keeping him back with the utility. Just constantly being barraged. Nigel barraged, which is everyone's favorite type.
Oh, my goodness. I'm trying to think of, like, a way that I could get another prominent but much more positive political figure in, like, Barrage Obama, but that one
The thing
doesn't
is, Harry,
work.
the way you learn about 2018 is there are very few, if any, positive political figures nowadays.
That's true.
I mean, look at Brazil.
Right, once again, we steer away from the that area of the world. Yay. Gonna go ahead and shut down one man with the Deagle, but then instantly return. And Rogue up 13 to 10, Hugo. They are very much in the lead right now. And like everyone's favorite Star Wars, we would just love it if Rogue won here in this situation. Have you seen that one?
Yeah, I
Star
have.
Wars?
Good
Yeah.
reference.
Were you a fan?
It's all right.
I thought it was pretty terrible.
Not a big Star Wars guy myself, so I can't really...
What are you more into? Counter-Strike. That's the right
Counter-Strike.
answer. 13 to 10. compLexity tactical timeout called on in. And I tell you what, Hugo, they're going to be crunching the numbers. We need to see, you know, Def and the gang roaring back to life, because right now, the Danes, the Aussie, and the Americans, they've got compLexity looking vulnerable. And, you know, they're just a few rounds away from closing out this first map in their advantage. And that is bad news for this compLexity squad, because Rogue, they're hot on their heels on the leaderboards, Hugo. 1 win here, and they're gonna go neck and neck. 2 wins, and they actually ascend past compLexity. And Shazam, he does not want to let that happen. He shut down Ricky early on over here in mid. So the man advantage gained for compLexity. Now they have to try and do something with it.
Yeah, Ricky was throwing that early Molotov to stop any window smoke so he could peek it, but while setting up for that, Shazam ahead of the curb, fast into middle, able to get that window pick, and that's really opened up middle. The problem with that is now compLexity, they were setting up for a B play. They can just go for it. You know, Vice is getting aggressive up in the apartments, but if he doesn't find these kills, this B site is going to be completely belonging to compLexity. Hiko's not ready for the split up through short, and that's a lack of information going down to middle, all at the back of the pick of Shazam. It's now just going to be Sick and MSL trying to hold onto their guns while compLexity run forward with 11. And yeah, what a just that's a round where just everything aligns for compLexity. Not only did they get the mid pick right when they were going for a fast B play, but also Rogue get aggressive into a setup from compLexity, which, you know, depending on the timing can work, right? It's all down to the situation, but in that one, compLexity were holding, they were playing passive, they were waiting for the short guys to get in position. So yeah, every time, if you're compLexity, you're winning that fight. And Rogue walking to their death in that previous. I mean that now, compLexity up to 11.
And they're looking to go ahead and take this the distance if they can. Here's an interesting headline, Hugo.
Yeah. What is this?
Well, it's in the spirit of Halloween.
Yeah.
A woman who claims to have had intercourse with 20 ghosts is now engaged to a ghost. Congratulations.
How do you put a ring on their finger?
I think it's, I don't know. I don't really know the ins and outs of that. Hugo, most of your love life invisible. You know, why? Surely you're the guy to ghosts. Look,
Whoa. Ouch.
I mean, we've seen some ghosts in the system in this round, because I tell you what already, MSL going to go blow for blow down here in mid. We're into a 4-on-4. And, well, that bomb still back in T-Small compLexity. Their cup runneth over with options at this point in time. Ricky going to turn his attention back towards mid. Molotov's out def from lower tunnels, so he's going to get forced on back. A minute and 5 seconds left, so they still have a decent bit of time to work with here.
Where do they sell this fake? Because Rogue really liked to go for these 2-2 setups, playing it very safe. They were fine giving up mid in the previous round, and while that was a bit of a problem, maybe this time it won't be. compLexity crawling in through the connector, and this bomb working the long way round through this ramp. Could be well timed considering no one's got their eyes on middle. This gives compLexity so much free room. The only problem is they don't know that Rogue are playing passive, so they'll give away their positions by throwing in utility from this con, and that allows for a Molotov to go down. Problem is, it baits them in. Vice is ready for it. 1-1 for these two CT players. There's just Vice left standing. There's the trade back up from Android. This bomb can be retrieved down on the ramp. They need to hurry up and get this bomb plant in. 15 seconds on the clock. We've seen this come down to the wire before for compLexity. They can't afford to lose another round like that. Flash is perfect. Android's blind, but Ricky was throwing in more nades. It will do more damage, but Android gets the kill, and just like that, the round is lost. That could have been Rogue's. That could have been Ricky's, but it's not going to work out.
And this is where this game really does start to take an interesting turn. We're into the latter stages now of this second half. And we're neck and neck for either of these teams. These are such important wins to be getting under your belt, Hugo. Especially, though, if you are compLexity, you want to be trying to stay above that relegation slot. You don't want to be dropping down. Now, early on, damage done into connector, and Rickey's going to be the man taking the brunt of it. The rifle's doing the bulk of the damage, then the Molotov tagging him down at just 6 HP. MSL's been brought down low as well. And they've put all they've got into this round over on the side of Rogue. So a loss here, they're reset into the next, and that can be compLexity starting to pull ahead.
That's the worst as well, because Rogue had the option to reset compLexity in the previous and break their money. And instead, this has only let them back into the game further. A potential 13th round, and then, as you said, Rogue with no money. I mean, 14 for compLexity in a game that at one point looked like they're about to lose. What a resurgence from this T side. Can they go the full distance? They're going for this B split again. They've got Def up in the apartments. No utility on him to try and get one of these players on the site, but this split might be well timed. Vice is holding down the line. He's lined up 2. Oh, he's not going to be able to get a third. Hiko's still here at the back, and he takes down Def out of the apartments. Now it is just Hiko at the back of the site. Has to hold, has to call for reinforcements, but forced out by the flashbang, and Android finds 2 big kills to get compLexity back in this round, but the hot flank is in from Sick.
Here he is. Sick going to go ahead and starts to shut down at Stan. That will be just Android left on up. Now Android, part man, part robot. He's immune to sickness, but it's Ricky as well up with him that's going to be looking to try and throw some more problems his way. 20 seconds, and he tries to pick the fight with the man in kitchen. The only issue is that man has long rotated away. He joined up with the rest of the gang over towards short, but at least Android now knows this portion of the map is clear. He goes for the bomb plant on this side, and now tries to duck away into the shop. There is still 2 Molotovs, an Incendiary and a Molotov split between the defense of Rogue. So, oh my goodness, Android, they line up for him. 1 bullet. And that's the ace as well. Oh my goodness, that is one of the best clutches I've ever seen.
Oh my god.
What a god Android
Yeah,
is.
match pause. I need a pause after that.
I need a
What?
pause.
What?
Oh my goodness.
One bullet, Harry. He didn't even go for the spray.
Yeah. It's like he knew.
He's a robot.
Yeah, he is a robot. It's not 2040 they're taking over. It's now. Look at him.
Oh my god.
They're already replacing us one by one.
That is honestly one of the best clutches I've ever seen.
My goodness, Android. You monster. You absolute freak of nature. That's disgusting.
I don't even know how to.
It's illegal.
What?
One bullet. It's the fact that he just fires once. That's casual, apparently.
All you need. It'll get the job done, Harry. And look at that. Not only is that going to break your mentality, but also the money. Rogue are buying here. That's the interesting point. Most teams would decide to eco in this position or go for a half buy. You can give away 14 to complexity, and that's fine. The problem is, if you buy it this round and you lose it, you are screwed. You are up against the wall on 14, and with just the loss bonus. Whereas on the flip side, they could have ecoed. But obviously, knowing the complexity haven't built up an economy, they only have one player surviving. They want to break it back, and they can certainly do that. Even though, Shazam, Android, they got cash for days. So right now, things are turning up all complexity's way. We have this push down ramp from Rogue. The AWP up and short for MSL, trying to catch out anyone in middle. Android got to be very careful here that he doesn't get too aggressive without his teammates to trade him out, because in this kind of setup, you would expect at least 1 or 2 kills from Rogue to come through. Now it's a connector split in play for complexity. Shazam coming around the corner. Here's that setup. Vice going to be spotted. He gets one. Can he find more? No. Shazam's there. Will they expect a second? Not at all. Sick finds it. Bomb dropped. 30 seconds left. Things getting very complicated here for complexity, and Rogue are making the best of a bad situation. Ricky with a double leaves just Ye alive.
And he's got nothing left to cheer about. You come off the back of an ace collateral clutch with an AK from Android into getting decimated in the next round. For complexity, the harsh realities have started to set in, and try as they might, it's ultimately not enough. Rogue 14-13 back in the lead, back ahead of the complexity boys, and it's just not looking like enough right now. Tactical timeout called on in. The issue is, for me, how can you go from having a man in a round like that to then getting made a mockery of in the following one, Hugo? It's going to be back to the drawing board here for complexity.
Counter-Strike is a unforgiving, brutal game, Harry. And complexity are learning the hard way that at the end of the day, we were pulling this comeback, but Rogue, all they needed was 1 round. They're now up to 14 here on the CT side. Complexity having to piece together this mess of an economy. 2 SMGs and AWP, double AK. Good to see Android on it at least. Fast mid-play here for Sick. He wants to bring the heat in through the Molotov. And already Stanisol going down. Sick doesn't expect more. He's too busy looking towards that top mid smoke, and he's going to get caught by Android. The trade is there for complexity, and they might even play off the back of this and hit B. Eco giving away his position, does get spotted, and Def put down to 4 points of health. He will not be allowed to escape. Eco taking no prisoners on this B bomb site. It's going to leave complexity to go back for an A play, but with only 1 smoke.
Not about taking prisoners though, Hugo. It's about the body count, and MSL is going to try and line up a couple down here from at CT. Peeks on out, drops that first man, and Sindri reigns in, and Shazam's going to find him there through the wall bank. Now Ricky just looking to try and delay this bomb going down as much as he can, and at least these rotations have come through. They're going to go ahead and plant for default. This really only leaves CT and Palace as the post plants open for complexity, and they're trying to get Shazam across and into CT. 3 players all in connector. This is an AWP's paradise right now. And Shazam, he knows that he's been pretty fortunate in this situation, just allowed to go peeking on in time and time again. There is still a smoke up on Hiko, Molotov on Ricky at that. But Shazam, he's relentless in this. He goes left up in a 1v3, and Shazam's going to shut down absolutely everybody. So complexity, a 14th round. And on the back of it, the reset coming in now for Rogue. Another pause called on in.
And compLexity just saying, anything you can do, we can do better. They break the money, they bounce right back with a couple of SMGs and an AWP play off the back of Shazam. What a sick round from him. 4 kills and 14 on this T side. And now if you're Rogue, what do? Do you force this? Do you go for the eco? They've got a bit of a mixed match of money. We have players on 1400. We have, I think, someone on 2-3k. It's a bit of a mess, all things considered. So I wouldn't be surprised if Rogue just take this single eco and try and play for the overtime. Might even be the best decision. The thing is, Harry, you get less points for OT wins, and right now Rogue, well, either of these teams need all the points they can get, but especially Rogue when they're already down near the bottom of Pro League here. They are going to decide to force. I don't think there's a wrong decision here. Neither of these decisions are going to be easy to make. And Rogue, let's see what they can do with it. They got the M4 on Ricky. They've got the SMG on Hiko. Triple pistol. compLexity running and gunning towards connector. Look at this pace, considering they've been playing so slow the entire time. Def wants to map control so badly. He takes so much damage from the Molotov, and then they will put him on 20. Maybe not worth the real estate there from compLexity with that containment in the connector. And again, this ramp push from Rogue. compLexity very, very aware of this potential for aggression. So Ye will just hold passive for the time being. And Ye's, that's someone who's been pretty quiet in the second half. We saw him have a very dominant CT side, but he's certainly not lived up to the hype in the last 14 rounds or so. Maybe this could be his chance here with 3 players on the other side up on A. compLexity need to check this CT spawn as well, because Ricky's moving into the middle of the site. All the timing from Ricky. He could get completely caught off here. There are 2 players up close by him. He's going to go back into the jungle. Shazam's posted. Ricky's got to see this barrel. He knows he's there. Free kill for Ricky. That could have gone very, very wrong for him, but he does get away with a frag. And now 40 seconds on the clock. The bomb in the B apartments. Desperation for compLexity.
Yeah, and we're relying a lot on a big hero play from Ricky here. The AWP going to get picked up by Def. He gets brought down to 1 HP on the exit. Just these pistols for the most part left up, and one of them going to be over here on Vice. But oh, Ricky, he's so fine. And now Vice chiming in with another. Trade is there from Android. Ye's in position to help him out, so they will be allowed to get this bomb down at the very least. It's a 3v2. Oh, that Molotov misses its mark. Luckily enough, doesn't burn out Android as he looks to try and get the bomb down. 2v2, and that's all on the back of Ye finding that frag onto the star of this round, Ricky. So now just Sick and MSL left on up. Pushing on in, MSL, the new boy in this team, but a very experienced player. 1v2 and lots of damage done. He's going to go ahead and find them both, and MSL against all odds manages to win it out in the clutch. The defuse comes on in, and Rogue a 15th round match point here versus compLexity. They're the team to get there first, but Hugo, I'm going to be honest with you, I think overtime could be on the cards. The one thing that goes against that is that compLexity, they don't have much money here. In spite of getting that bomb down, in spite of winning, a decent portion of these last few rounds, they do, come off the back of getting reset, right? So money is completely down in the dumps here over on the T side, and they've got an AK, a Galil, that's all they have into this round. Looking like they might just try and throwing a faster play in towards this A-bomb site.
It's just been so back and forth that neither team's been able to build up an economy, and as you say it, desperate times call for desperate measures for compLexity. They need to win their own force by here if they want to stay in this first map. Utility over that A-bomb site, close ramp setup as well. MSL, he's just going to get blindsided. Tick smoked off. He can't even get the trade there. He can't even bail out his teammate. compLexity was so ready for that close ramp position. It's worked out wonderfully. They've even slowed down the pace. They've not committed with the A play. That's because of this smoke. Def's even followed up, so overtime on the cards here. He's going to try and pull his team out of this spot, and Ricky may be able to do the same. That's a key frag. Android, who's been having such a huge half, has just been taken out of the equation, but this A split is a 3-pronged attack. Ricky, he's got to do it all alone. Already found 2 kills. There's a man in the jungle. There's no way he expects his position, but the shot is missed. Def doesn't finish off the frag, and he can try and come in from the back line, but Def is there, ready and waiting. In through the murder hole, leaves just Ricky.
Yeah, Ricky 1v2 and only 8 HP to his name. While he has looked good, now he's got to look flawless here in the clutch. And my goodness, everything's fallen apart on the desk, and it's even starting to fall apart in game. Rikke has got it all to do here, does have a kit to work with, no utility in both these players down in CT. There should be absolutely no way back into this round. He's sticking it. They do go peeking on into it, and Def's able to spot it out. We're going to be seeing overtime here, Hugo. 15-15. And an OT, and that's actually very important for both of these teams. You look at where they are in the standings, there was 3 points between them. Now, for compLexity, they need all the points they can get if they want to move ahead. But, you know, at the very least, at least now they've guaranteed that 1 point, even if they get the loss here.
The thing is, the only problem is, like, this is way more beneficial for compLexity, because as you said, you know, okay, they can get a point, they can be fine, they can trade points, I guess, if they lose this game. If Rogue, even if they win this game, they're not getting enough points to knock compLexity down, because compLexity get that one, you know, loss point for being an OT, and Rogue don't get enough points to move up significantly. So this is actually really beneficial for compLexity more than anyone here, despite them being the, maybe some would say, expected victor of this game, like the, you know, the more at least lengthy roster. Whereas we've just got a new IGL/AWP player into this Rogue team, so certainly going to take some time for them to find their groove. But yeah, hey, considering how back and forth those last few rounds were, that was anyone's game to take in compLexity. They've gone the full distance.
Yeah, indeed they have. And, you know, some of us maybe saw this one coming as we headed into this game. You know, Hugo, I've seen a little bit of either one of these two teams playing. I mean, obviously compLexity being the one that I'd say, you know, everyone's kind of seen more of thus far, just on the back of their good run at the major. But, yeah, you know, Rogue, they're always kind of fans of, you know, kind of going for these slower styles of play. Then you bring in MSL, someone who quite prolifically, you know, is a big fan of that as well. So it does make sense that, you know, we've seen this become a very drawn-out affair throughout this series. I do think for compLexity, regardless, it's a little bit underwhelming in the sense that, you know, you look at how some of these guys have been playing. Android has looked fantastic. Yeah. Shazam's been playing well as, you know, to boot. It's kind of been Ye who's been pretty quiet for the most part. I do have to agree, in spite of a decent start from him, he's slowed down a lot, and we need to see that change of compLexity. You want to be able to close this series out, because the wins really do matter to them now.
Here we go, round number 31. All buys are in, and Shazam? I have no idea how he does that, but he's already just taken 2 kills up into the Palace. That is going to throw this round up on its head. compLexity were about to B-rush that one until Shazam got those 2 aggro kills, so now Rogue rotating off this site, and compLexity still going to crawl into it. Because Rogue, so far, they think it's A, but they couldn't be more wrong. compLexity have taken that B-bomb site, and that's so unfortunate. It was just the early setup being perfect. Bomb can go down. Rogue retaking pretty much has to happen, because saving an OT is a bit pointless. Maybe for the first round, considering you know you're going to lose this one, but see what they can do. Shazam's already found that flanking player, and just like that, yeah, just go for exit, stat pad, don't try and actually win the round. That may be something, but right now Shazam's on 3 kills, and he is looking like an absolute beast to try and contend with. Oh,
MSL, surely not. Surely not. The big brain on him's going to make an easier target. But oh, and Hiko's coming with the save. And oh my goodness, together they managed to get the job done in holy matrimony. It's Hiko and MSL, an unlikely duo, but they managed to get it done, Hugo. What is that
What
round?
is this game, Harry? What is this game? What is happening? I don't know. Shazam gets 3 kills as Rogue rush Palace, and they still ninja defuse in the 2-on-4. Like, this, none of this makes sense anymore, and I think we should just accept that. But what a round from MSL. Big call from him to make, and big error from compLexity to leave that bomb site.
Yeah.
They knew MSL was in the market.
I have to wonder why you rotate so many players away, right? Fair enough if you want to go hunting with one, but it's overtime. It doesn't even matter that much anyway. Massive oversight. Hiko swooping in, you know, Daddy Hiko saving the day, bailing out MSL. And oh no, compLexity. Surely this isn't how you want your OT to go. Now they have boosted Android up into the window. MSL, the smoke warrior, he's here. Oh. And he's lying in wait. Just a Mexican standoff between these two. So I think that actually has to involve more than 2 people is the whole point of that. So just a normal standoff.
But neither of them are aware they're standing off against each other. That's the only difference here.
They are. You have a mental image of the map. An android, he knows that by holding down this angle, he could go... Oh, the timing! What is going on?
No!
It's like we're living a film, Hugo.
No!
Nothing's making sense. The narratives all got off the rails, and once again, they just miss each other. It's like the sun and the moon, Romeo and Juliet. An android finally about to reap the rewards of this flank, as now he does finally meet up with MSL, shuts him down and looks for the second as well. It's Hiko to get bested. Vice only good for 1. There's 12 seconds, but the bomb has been retrieved and it's going to go down. Rikke not able to get to short in time.
Android is just on fire today. I mean, that round's just complete luck that MSL looks away at the right time, but he makes a play off the back of it. He gets 2 kills, and he's even going to find a third. Watching this flank, not letting Rogue escape with any guns. 6 going to be caught here as well. He's getting cornered, and Android has left the position. But Def has moved in, and 6 going to be able to find that. But just like that, easy 4 kills for Android. I mean, at this point, you just got to expect it, don't you, Harry? 14 rounds. Sorry, 16 rounds apiece. And now where does this even go? All the rounds are already happening, but we're not done just yet. Last round of this half of overtime, and everyone's got guns.
This has been some real messy CS, Hugo.
Yeah.
Been, you know, all over the place. And Hiko, this time aggressing up towards top mid, isn't going to spot anything because compLexity, they're just going for a B rush, and Rikke's got it all to do. So many players flooding on into him, and he's standing in the fire and flames. It's Vice to shut down 1. His ammo's running low, and Ye is on a bit of a tear. Hiko, they do line up for him. He finds the damage. Sick now chiming in with another. The frags going back and forth. But finally, Ye looking to try and home in on the victory for compLexity in this round. Now it falls to the Danish prince at the helm of Rogue, and in a 1v2 he smites down the point man for compLexity. Now just Shazam left to topple. It's AWP on AWP, and MSL's going to go ahead and emerge the victor. It's a 17-16 Rogue closing out this first half of overtime with that advantage.
And what a shame for Ye. We've been talking about how he's having a bit of a rough time in these past 15 or so rounds. He gets a huge 3k entry, opens up that B bomb site, and compLexity don't even win the round. So a shame to see, but fantastic work from MSL on the clutch. We know he's a very intelligent player. So not a big surprise to see him get away with these kind of situations. 16-17 Rogue now the favourites, Harry, but I don't think that matters at this point. When you hit overtime, logic and favourites, that goes out the window. It's anyone's game here, as compLexity need to find 3 on the CT side if they want to take a victory. Or we're going to have to see more OTs.
Hugo,
compLexity wins.
if you were to compare both of these teams and how they're playing right now to different types of food each, what comparisons could you draw?
Do you have one for me to bail me? Or
No, I don't. I
no,
can think
you just
of
throw me a
one.
horrible question. I don't know, Harry.
You know,
That's such an awful, awful question.
Rogue
you
to
should
me,
feel
man,
bad.
they're looking like a nice maybe like a katsu burger, right? Like it's good, but you're not too sure how the combination's working, but it is. And then over on the side of compLexity, Hugo, they're like a steak in an overpriced restaurant. You expect in the world, and it's kind of let you down. There you go. Was that so hard?
Was it so good?
It definitely wasn't, no. But that's kind of, you know, Hugo, my catchphrase has become butter, you know, so just, I'm literally saying the name of a food, butter. Everyone's favourite food. One of your 5 a day.
Butter?
Yeah.
5 a day. All right.
5 whole butters a day.
5 whole butters a day. Let's see if Rogue can make this one slippery up on that A-bomb site with a bit of butter. That's how you get yourself, if you get your head stuck in the banisters, rub some Lurpak on your ears. We've all been there.
Yeah, other butter brands are available, of course. And here's the push in towards this A-bomb site. Now, Shazam, he's not looking to try and butter anyone up because Def has bested him to those kills. He picks off Vice and Sick. It is just going to be MSL and Hiko left up, and they both fall in the blink of an eye. compLexity tying things up 17-17. The magic number that we're looking for, Hugo, is 19 rounds.
I think you mean 1818. Stop typing Google into Google. Double AWP in for the likes of compLexity. Rogue don't have one though. They've finally opted to just go for a bit of a faster pace. Maybe a blistering A attack once again, but this time compLexity don't set up for it. Not expecting. They've got a triple B player. That makes the most sense here from compLexity. I wouldn't be surprised if Rogue went for that quick B. They did it quite a lot on the T side. Now they're going to go back in through A once again. Shazam already spotting. He's been smoked off. Better get out of this position. Nades are starting to land on in. Rogue have pretty much cleared out this A site quite fast. Bomb's going to go down. And well, not much utility for the post plant here for Rogue. But look at how many nades compLexity have. This is so good for compLexity in terms of damage. But can they find the kills to find the round?
I'll keep your eye on Sick on this wrap round through mid. He's going to prove instrumental later on as this retake looks to come on in. Sick now arriving on this wrap round, and they are going to start to check it. Stan has an idea, but ideas aren't enough. He has to connect the shots, and Sick going to line up absolutely everything. So it's Rogue to arrive at match point 18 to 17. Buy back in from compLexity. Orp going to be over on the back of Stan and Shazam.
Stan Sham, as they like to be known.
Stan Sham.
All right, our favourite Italian duo.
Yeah.
But also our favourite spread. Stan Sham. No? Okay. 18-17 to Rogue. One away
It's
from
all
this.
gone wrong, hasn't it? Everything's been derailed. And this is where we currently reside. Rogue, they need one more round if they want to close this out. They're going to be holding on at mid, waiting to see if any of this aggression comes through from compLexity. Indeed, it does not. Instead, Def able to open things up. We're into a 4-on-4. compLexity desperate to hold on. They don't want to let Rogue rise up and put them down to that relegation spot. It's all on the line, and they have to step up here and now if they want to go ahead and maintain their position on the leaderboards. Bomb dropped over towards short, and Rogue, they've grinded to a halt. They've applied the brakes. Minute on the clock, so still time to work with.
Just allowing Hiko to get in position, try and burn out some more utility on that B bomb site. Creates a couple more openings here for Rogue. You don't want to go for that push and then get half of your split cut into two. So Rogue, do they even commit to be here? Because we've got a player coming in late through the apartments, can always back out to the underpass. But no real, you know, utility for an A site take. You kind of want to smoke for that CT spawn or to cut off the jungle, for example. B is so much easier to take with just flashbangs. You can try to take these fights, and Ye will do exactly that. Big kill from him. Can he double it? No. MSL's there from the back line, and Hiko, notice Android through, blocking down this B bomb site. He's found two as well. Ricky's now left in the clutch, but no time for it. And compLexity have done it. 18 rounds on this CT side. We're hitting double overtime, Harry. This game is the game that keeps on going.
It most certainly is. We are once again at this juncture. And we can see it's been a big effort from the likes of Android and Shazam, still topping the charts over on the side of compLexity. For Rogue, it's Sick and Ricky bringing things up the front. Been a pretty quiet game from the likes of MSL and Vice, but they've certainly had their fair share of big moments.
Stan as well, sitting at 14 kills. Not what you'd like to see.
I tried to look up some butter facts.
Yeah, anything interesting?
That surprisingly, mate, it's just butter. Like, that's pretty much the gist of it.
I can't believe
Everyone
it's not butter facts.
Oh no! Well, here we are. The nades raiding on down and towards mid have done a little bit of damage, spread thinly across Sick and MSL. Pressured into Vice. He does find the first man, but not the second, as Shazam up in the palace, now looking to try and bail compLexity out of the shroud. He's actually not ready for the push out through connector. And Hiko coming in with another, now leaves Stan and Android. Standroid left on up.
He spots it. Oh, still going to get shot in the back, though. Fakes the drop, and Ricky doesn't know. Android goes back in for more and takes himself a second kill. The problem is it's still not going to be around. Stan stuck in the spawn, and time is already halfway ticked. Rogue utility flying in, and this crossfire is pretty decent, all things considered. So Stan needs to try and isolate a kill right now. The scope is going to force the peak, and Hiko will win the fight. Nice shot from him. Keeps this going for Rogue. 1918 here, Harry. And to think this is only the first map.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, the reason why that's significant is this is only the first map. We still have that second one coming. We still have a lot more of action-packed CS to give, and it gets that much more important when you think about the leaderboard and how this series rather affects the standings, Hugo. Because compLexity, they're currently sitting about to get relegated. Rogue, meanwhile, are chomping at the bit to catch up with them. And here's Shazam. He's hungry. He's looking for more. Stands in with another. These Orcs doing it all right now. And Stan chaining together a second kill. Will get traded out by Hiko, leaving just him and Vice together. That bomb has been spotted out. Android's crawled on top of it like a mother hen to his eggs. He's not leaving it. He's going to protect this with his life.
Will Hiko steal it away? His eggs and his life.
A mongoose right now.
Hiko is climbing up into the birch trees, finding the birds with eggs, touching them just so the mother birds leave the eggs and never fly back to their children. Well, he doesn't even want the eggs. He should be
Calm down. What are you doing?
He's already dead. That's what's going to happen for her, Harry. 1919. compLexity going to lock down that B bomb site after all. I can't say I'm too surprised after that 4v2, but they're going to be able to convert it. That's pretty brutal. But either way, keeping things even as has this entire game been, Harry. AWP up for MSL now, maybe slowing down the pace for Rogue a little bit, looking for that opening kill. He goes deep in the apartments, and Stan, he's climbed up on short, but there's no one hitting fast mid for Rogue. They wait for the aggression, because compLexity, think about how many CT rounds they sent Ye up the top of middle just to chase kills. Problem is this time, Ricky, he's going to get chased down. Stanislaw takes him, and MSL looks for his pick down on this B bomb site. Android can't afford to make the mistake of jumping here. An advantage for compLexity, and looking to convert that into this win, but MSL, he has other ideas. A peek up from Stan, the flash good. Oh, does he realize that's a scope? MSL going to hear that as well. He should be ready for this one. Stan just going to drop off instead, and MSL won't get gifted the fight. Rogue now setting up for the B play, but compLexity got that info that apartments looks clear, and it is anything but.
Yeah, and this is letting them play a very, very passive angle with Stan. Now MSL, hide-and-seek champion up in the apartments, is going to go ahead and rear his head from this position and does manage to drop Stan. Now Android, first man on the scene, and he's been a beast inside of this B-bomb site, but this time he gets blown out of the water early on from that nade. Tossed in by Hiko, 3-on-3 as the bomb goes down, but luckily enough, compLexity, they're already knocking on the door of Rogue. They're already here, damage done onto Hiko. As he's brought down to his knees, he's going to be deft to find one more. Hiko still fighting back, still putting up numbers despite being on 11 HP. Finally going to get silenced, and now it's Vice in the hot seat. Finds the first man, just Shazam left to overthrow it. Into his crosshair, Shazam pushes on in. Picks up the frag, defuse comes through. compLexity going to be closing out this first half of our second overtime, 20-19. That just rolls right off the tongue as we head on through into the second.
That was a sick spray from Vice. He pre-fired the spray, but you'll see a lot of players, if they don't hit it immediately, they'll give up. But Vice just continued, and on about the 10th bullet of the mag, he gets the kill. So that's pretty cool. 20-19 here to compLexity, as you say. Favored Harry, but Rogue were favored earlier, and they still bottled it to go to that second overtime. Going both ways. No one able to get this victory here. Looking at the scoreboard, we got Sick, Hiko. Those are two people. I'm not just complimenting Hiko as well as he is playing, and on the side of compLexity, it's just Android. Shazam's been getting a lot of kills as well. Deffin's definitely stepped up. I mean, everyone's really putting in the numbers apart from Stan right now. He's doing more work behind the scoreboard. Behind the scenes, the impact that you can't see in number form. You a fan of Stan as an IGL, Harry?
Yeah, big fan. I mean, for me, he's you okay? He's been. You know, he hasn't made like many massive plays, but he's been doing a good job. Like the mid-round calls have been very, very good right now for compLexity. And on top of that, you know, he's had his couple of big moments himself. But one of these teams, Hugo, has to eventually lose this game. compLexity currently sitting with that 1 round advantage. Let's not forget 22 rounds.
Fast mid play here for compLexity. Bomb outside of ramp as well, though, going... Harry, you make me laugh, man. They're going for this ramp split.
Great, thank you, I'm glad. Yes, they are. They're going to try and play in towards this A bomb site, and that's where Rogue, they currently have the majority of their players stacked on up. Okay, going to get traded straight away, leaves all the pressure onto Vice and Sick. Vice only good for 1, and now it's Sick from the ramp, dropped by Shazam. compLexity 3v2 as this bomb looks to go down. And you can already see in the post plant, you have a player between ramp, now 2 players at ramp, 1 up in the palace. There is still plenty of utility here for Rogue. Good down on the bomb, that nade might be enough to slam dunk onto Yay, but 1 HP. He's a bit of a gremlin indeed. Oh no, there's okay.
Question mark?
If I'm MSL, I'm mad tilted. That's it, I'm gone. I'm not back in this game now. That shot doesn't connect somehow, and Hiko left in a 1v2, but he's been a clutch king. He's been unreal in these sort of situations. And as he's lost in his own smoke, he's lost his way. He lines up the first, but Stan has hidden himself away on the ramp. And that'll be the round. That'll be a 21st and match point in favor of compLexity. They just need 1 more now to close out this series.
Man, if only Hiko didn't expect a player on the site there, he might have even been able to get that clutch, but he was so assumptuous that there was a player close on the other side of triple that he wasted valuable time trying to search that back box. 21 rounds, as you say, Harry, and we may be at the end of the road here for Rogue, at least for this map. And they bounce back. MSL's here with the AWP. He's been playing really well this map so far as well. Trying to lock down that push up into middle. Def going to be potentially going for this little boost up to spot window. MSL, got to be careful now. The split's coming through. The flash is there. Shazam peeks him, and that's a kill for compLexity. That's an opening frag. And such an important one as well. The IGL and the AWP from Rogue already removed. Close position from Ricky in the connector, and he's got to be very careful. He's cut off by the molly, could be hung out to dry. That step going to be heard, and he knows it as well. Ready to throw in a Molotov to try and escape with it. Android hunt. Ricky gets the frag, but can he get away with it? Def's already killed his teammate, and now they're wrapping this A bomb site.
Oh, but Hiko rushing on in, trying to charge the gauntlet, shuts down Shazam in middle, and that's the bomb drop. Now just him and Sick left in the hot seat. Def wrapping on round through this B bomb site, and Yay slowly but surely creeping on forward into middle. They know they have to go for this bomb, and Hiko and Sick, they've posted themselves up. They have a lot of angles to hold, and they don't have the information as to where the compLexity guys currently reside. Def is going to be ready, suspects this close angle, but Hiko shuts him down. It's Yay in a 1v2. We've mentioned how this man hasn't had the most unreal of performances today. He started to recover, and he has recovered nicely since that second half, but he's not ready, however, for Sick over here in connector. Rogue going to be moving on to a 20th. Looking to try and take us through to a 3rd overtime.
He even forgot the bomb there as well, so even if he did get any of those kills, he was still pretty screwed. And Rogue had that locked down in middle with no time left to pick it up and run towards the site. He had to go. Desperation play there for Yay, and 21-20. Bordering triple OT, Aaron. I mean, at this point, it's looking pretty likely with the way that this game has gone. Neither team able to close this all the way out. We've got that fast short play here from compLexity, but it's interestingly enough because they've sent the bomb in through ramp, so Palace. So even though we found this opening kill, it's going to force Rogue's rotation off of that A bomb site, opening up this waterfall split out the Palace. Stan finds another. I bet they wish they brought this bomb here, because look over on A. Ricky's doing the damage. There's a team kill, a nade to find a frag, and now it is just MSL.
Oh, but he's going to be able to drop Yay, and now he's got control of the bomb. Is he ready for both players in connector? Surely not. Surely MSL isn't able to recover here. It's down to the 1v1. 37 points of health, and he's looking to try and claw Rogue through to another overtime. He spots the man out on stairs, but Def going to find the frag, and compLexity, they win out this first map, Hugo. They managed to get the job done 22-20. It took 42 rounds of Counter-Strike, but finally they managed to get the job done.
Oh, almost clutch there for MSL. Fantastic try, but I mean, one of the big problems there for compLexity is, well, one of the big problems there for compLexity is that you never really expect to get those B picks when you're running in for such a fast play. They wanted those B players to die just so they could go for the A split, but hey, it almost came back to haunt them with the connector flank. Either way, compLexity getting away with a victory now, and we're going to be heading to that second map in just a minute. You do not want to miss it. These players are not done just yet. Join us after the break.